Today's Dilmah Tea Party is brought to you by the Dilmah Exceptional Range. G'day everyone and welcome to today's Dilmah Tea Party. Pakistan just losing the wicket of Yunus Khan, 286 for 4 at tea on day 3. And time to introduce my guest, the 38th and current Prime Minister of New Zealand, John Key. Welcome to the Dilmah Tea Party. Must be nice to be back. Last year, Have you drunk all the tea in the meantime, have you?
I have.
Yeah.
I went to the cupboard the other day and it was empty. And I thought, well, I've got to go back on the show.
Have to come back.
Absolutely.
How was your holidays for a start? Hawaii, I hear.
It was lovely, actually. A lot of rain, actually, in Hawaii this year, as it has been in Australia, of course. But a lot of rain. But where we were in Maui was very nice. And not as hot as has been around New Zealand, but it was great. And very uneventful Christmas, actually, other than for the Australians. So from that point of view, nice relaxing break.
Is it a real holiday? Do you have to take a couple of your entourage with you that we see in the back of our room here?
I do. But they're the extended family. Sort of, and if Max, our 15-year-old son, wants to go out and whack a ball around or something, there's always a big brother to go and help them out.
What about, so did you play any golf?
Yeah, we played some golf, actually. I was sensational 90. I was very happy with that, actually.
Kapalua, because they've just played the tour opener.
Yeah, the PGA there, yeah. Well, those guys are embarrassing. When you start going around 9 under or something, it's not good. We played in Wailea, actually. It was nice. Played at the Wailea Blue course and played out at McKenna. Very good course there.
Your ultimate golfing four.
I know.
Who would they be? Who would you play with if you had?
We'd have to have Obama. You have to have Obama
because
I think I can beat him, actually.
Okay.
On the numbers.
This might be going through the States. So,
you'd have to have Obama.
Yep.
Who else would you have? Oh, we have Liz Hurley, because you want to find out all the things that she's been up to recently.
Yep.
And she's
you can just text Shane Warne.
Yeah, exactly. Shane Warne might have things to say. So you take Liz Hurley, you've got out there. Mixed, and then myself, and then who else? Fourth mixed person. Oh, I don't know. We'd have the Pope, actually. It'd be quite interesting to play golf with the Pope, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right.
There you go. Got a couple.
I was just thinking, because Stephen Fleming and Craig McMillan and myself have got a 7:30 tea time. Para Umu on Friday morning, and we're one short. 7:30 Friday. So if you're free, you have to go to work Friday.
I do.
You do.
You're paying me too, so you want me to be there.
You can't make it. All right. Well, what about last year in politics and yourself? It was a pretty tough year on a couple of fronts for New Zealand, with the Christchurch earthquakes in particular, and Pike River.
It was. I mean, that looked very tough for those communities. And when you look at Canterbury, for a start off, I mean, a huge amount of damage there. I mean, I think about 168,000 homes have some sort of damage. And you put that into context, I mean, it's about a $5.5 billion rebuild. We think Australia is somewhere in the order of, well, they're saying 13 billion, but the number's rising. Could be around about 20 billion Australian dollars. So it shows us the enormous damage from those floods. So from that point of view, it was tough. But, and when Pike River came, I guess that sort of brought home to you that how lucky we were in Canterbury that we didn't lose anybody there. But Pike River, I mean, a tremendously tragic time for those families. I mean, 29 men that we lost there, and it was a hard end to the year, I think, and New Zealanders felt that had been a long sort of slow year. And you put on top of that things like the Fox River, where we Fox Glacier, say we lost 9 people there. So quite a lot of tough things. But look, 2011 will be a better year. Hopefully we'll win the Cricket World Cup and the Rugby World Cup, so one might be slightly easier than the other, but I'll leave you to work that out.
If we don't win the Rugby World Cup, then maybe your job is no good anymore.
Well, that's right.
We've got a history, haven't we? When the election has been in a Rugby World Cup year or a poor year for rugby, the parliamentary changes, and away you go, and then you lot come in. Yeah,
look, I tell you, I ring Richard McCaw and Dan Carter first thing in the morning, telling me, out of bed, boys, come with the personal trainer. I'm very aligned to their...
and I understand you also outdid Dan Carter as the best dressed man in New Zealand, voted by the Women's Weekly, was it?
It came as no shock to me, but it came as quite a big shock to Dan when I rang him. I said to him, look, Dan, suck it up, big boy. There's a new dog on the pooch. He was very shocked. Him and Honor were out shopping, but it was just too late. I'd won.
Who does your shopping then?
Can't you tell?
Where do you shop? Who does your shopping? Where do you get your clothes?
I shop at RJB Design. Look, they should be paying me for
this.
They
should be now.
So, yeah, that's right.
We had Stephen Fleming on just pumping all of his promotional products yesterday, so you can go.
Well, I did buy a couple of things at Dan's shop and then went broke.
Exactly.
So there you go.
So you buy your own clothes, or does your wife go out and
well, she buys my ties actually sometimes, but if they're unlucky, I throw them out. I'll throw them out half time anyway. Do you like this one?
Actually, yeah, it's not bad. It looks good with the whites.
Okay, very good.
And I'm pleased you took the jacket off today. Actually,
thank you for pouring me a cup of tea, Bill.
That's all right, no problem at all. Make sure you get into that. We have had a couple of requests. Obviously, the tax cuts last year. I got a letter from an M. Richardson. He wasn't too happy with the amount he was
Riggers
getting at the
never
moment. So are we going to see any more tax cuts this year?
He couldn't run fast enough to the post office to get his tax cut. That's his problem.
That
he's
is
always
the problem.
too slow.
Any more tax cuts on the horizon?
Well, not about this year. No.
Not this year?
Okay,
well, another
get
one.
The deficit under control.
The 90-day employment rate. Can we still get rid of Craig McMillan?
Absolutely.
We're okay with
John
that?
Wright's going to be under 90 days at the moment, so you better watch out.
So he's all right with that. I mean, are those things, the couple of things that you implemented last year, are they working along all right? I mean, people are pretty happy. The 15% GST increase as well?
Yeah, look, I mean, there's always a balance there, but if you look at it, we've got to be the only country in the world that cut personal taxes, and there was a big reason for that. We want to have the right incentives, want people to, be able to recognise when they go to work they can make a difference to their own life and have choice, actually. And I actually think it's flowed through well. And GST is a fair tax, actually. Everybody pays it. And it's a good thing.
It is a good thing?
Yeah,
okay.
tourists pay it.
All right. And the taxes have worked out well, so we're slowly getting on the right side. What about unemployment?
Yeah, starting to come down, starting to track down. So we're at 6.4% on our way lower, hopefully. In fact, the numbers over Christmas weren't quite so bad. We always get a spike when the students come out of university and you see quite big numbers go on the dole. Last year, I think we had just under 8,000 went on the dole over the Christmas period. This year was about 4.5. So it just shows you there's more jobs out there. So that's good. I mean, look, it's not perfect. It's a long rebuild. But, I think we're getting there, making some progress.
All right, well, something quite close to my heart. I've got five horses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what about the racing industry? We're going to see, it cost me $3,000 a month to train a horse. I know you're going to Karaka, and I know you're going to the $1 million two-year-old race as well at Ellerslie. Yeah. So, look, $3,000 a month to train a horse, and you've got to run around for $5,000 in a maiden race. So we're going to see any more money coming towards the racing industry? No. Can we get Winston back there, please?
No.
We can't do that either.
No. Look, they're doing all right. They'll be all right. Well, it's a great industry, though, the racing industry for New Zealand. So we've got to keep trying to support it.
It's tough, though. I mean, with a lot of money being bet overseas, I guess that's the issue that the racing industry face at the moment. With people opening accounts in Australia, the centre bet accounts and TAB accounts, they can bet into other countries, and there's no tax on that, is there? So they're losing, I think, about 11 to 14% a year overseas, which we're not able to tax.
I mean, some of the changes that they made around tax around stallions and helping the breeding industry is really, really important. But you're right. I mean, there's just such big numbers in terms of the states in Australia and further afield, Hong Kong and the likes. It's hard for New Zealand to compete, and you've got a lot of other areas competing for that gambling dollar. Lotto and all the different products that they bring.
Around about 16 or 17,000 people employed in the racing industry, and around the full-time ones, and there are a lot more when you go into the part-time workers as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, other world leaders, your favourites, your least favourites?
Oh. I can't go into the least favourites because they might take me out.
They might watch it. Yeah, true.
Watch it.
What about your favourites? I mean, who are you really getting along with? Who do you find easy to communicate with?
Well, I like David Cameron in the UK. He's doing well. They're up against it. And, they've got a big recession in the UK, so they're obviously trying to get on top of that. But I've sort of grown up with him, if you like, in politics. He became leader of the opposition, and I did, and I became Prime Minister. And he's a good bloke. Julia Gillard's actually a nice lady. I like her. She's, again, they've had tough times over there in Australia in recent times, but she's very straightforward. And, Obama's always, a good guy to deal with. So.
We've seen a bit of help to Australia too, haven't we?
We have.
With the floods.
Yeah, we sent people and a bit of cash, but... I mean, you can see the rebuild there, 25,000 homes, and the problem you've got with water is you can live in a damaged home, as you saw with an earthquake, but once you get water in there, it just smells, and the mud and sludge, you just got to rip everything out.
In this modern day of all this technology, are you on Facebook?
I am.
Are you at Twitter?
I'm surprised, actually, you're not one of my fans.
Well, I'm not. Really? Well, I am one of your fans, but I'm not one of your fans on Facebook.
It's not for me to boast.
When Phil Goff's got the floor in Parliament and you're getting bored out of your brain, do you start tweeting people?
Well, not him. But I'll have you know, I have 50,000 fans on Facebook.
50,000?
Yeah, 50,000.
I think I've only got about 40.
That's a lot of relatives, isn't it?
Not 40,000. It is a lot of relatives. So are you into Twitter? Do you do it yourself?
Tweeting. A little bit of tweeting.
The helpers do that for you?
A bit of both. But no, I spend more time on Facebook than I do on Twitter.
Okay.
But
goals for this year?
Win the Rugby World Cup would be a good one. Yeah. Win the Cricket World Cup for obvious reasons. But no, look, to have a better year for New Zealand this year. And economically we've got some challenges in front of us, but we've got some important things to say about that this year. And just sort of carry on the things that we've been doing. I think we've stepped up when challenges have been there. They're not always easy. We won't always make decisions that people like, but on balance, I think we're taking the country in the right place.
How normal is your life? I mean, how normal can you be? What time do you go to bed? What time do you get up in the morning?
I go to bed at 1 o'clock, and I know if it's normal
in the afternoon.
Yeah, in the afternoon. Yeah, absolutely.
Little afternoon.
Yeah, well,
that's
what time's your show on?
Not a bad thing. Yeah, exactly.
Normally, I need a good kip. No, I go to bed normally at 1 and get up at 5:45.
Wow.
Yeah.
You go to do your own groceries? You go to the supermarket?
Well, funnily enough, I went to a fish and chip shop last night, I've got to admit, because we were up north, and I went in there, and this nice girl, she must be about 17 or something, and it was quite quiet there, and we were another family just buying some fish and chips, and I said to her, I told her what we wanted, and she looked at me and she said, have you been in here before? And I said, yes. Because I have, and she said, you look so familiar, how do I know you? And I said, I'm John Key. She said, yeah, you look so familiar, how do I know you? They were cracking up in the background. Poor girl.
Fantastic. And I did, Grant Nisbet told me a wonderful story about the green parrot.
Oh, yeah.
One night on the green parrot with a couple of his mates.
Oh, yeah, Winston.
And one of Winston's
that was a while ago, yeah.
favourite haunts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the guys were very impressed. You just came in, you sat down. I think you had an iced water while they were drinking a beer, and I mean, it just got along with the people. Do you consider yourself just a bloke's bloke when it comes to that sort of thing?
Well, I love it, and I like sport, and I like just going around. Like, you come into politics, you're going to leave politics at some point, and you go back to doing what you've done, being a New Zealander, being in mates. And New Zealand's not a formal place. I don't think they want their leaders to be held out in ivory towers and stuff. It's just not the way it's going to be.
All right, we're all hoping for the Cricket World Cup win, the Rugby World Cup win, and your chance to win too with the Dilmah Tea Party. So take a look at this. Win one of 6 of a year's supply of Dilmah vouchers, each valued at $175. To enter, go to www.dilmah.co.nz. Enter your details and answer 2 very simple questions. Well, last year, when you were here, you actually took a few wickets for New Zealand. Grant Elliott, wasn't it?
And I sat down before, and Vittori got calm out. So it's one.
So you think you might be New Zealand's...
I'm betting 1,000.
So you're going to go to the World Cup? I mean, do you like India?
Oh, I've only been twice, actually. No, I do like India. Fascinating place, actually. I'd love to go. I won't get a chance to get up there this year. There won't be a hell of a lot of travel this year for obvious reasons. But... no, so I won't get there, but I'd like to go. We've sort of been trying to plan a trip because it's a huge market for New Zealand and the real sleeper, actually, in terms of where we see big economic growth, particularly around the agricultural sector. All
right, John, thank you very much for joining us once again. Another bag of tea for you, courtesy of Dilmah, just in case you have drunk all of last year's lot. And we wish you all the best for 2011. I hope everything goes well. Thank you so much for joining us again on Dilmah, and we'll see you same time next year.
Yeah, I hope so.
After the break, some more live cricket.